Right, I'm going to talk about the culture war and how people need to understand how these people think of it. Now, if you don't know what Gamergazi is, this is a Reddit message board that was set up at the beginning of Gamergate to be a counterweight to Gamergate. And it's got 12,000 people on it. I mean, back when I remember last looking at it, it had about 5,000 or 6,000 people. So it's grown very slowly over the last few years. I mean, the Gamergate subreddit Kotaku in Action has got 77,000 people on it. So it gives you an impression of how many people are actually fighting on their side of the culture war. It's much fewer than the people fighting against them. This is a really interesting post, though, and I love the way they phrase this, because these people are talking strategy. They're talking grand strategy. They are looking at this as if it's a risk map. And they're right when they say, it feels as though we've lost YouTube. Because they have. In fact, I don't think they've ever had it, which they'll probably say, actually, in this. But so they say, there is no unanimous support of PewDiePie. Even Casey Neistat, a huge liberal YouTuber, is being vocal in his support of PewDiePie. All of this, even though he just gave support to Sargon of fucking Akkad. Disgusting. They hate me because I'm going to destroy them. That's why they hate me. I'm going to make their ideology an invalid political position, and they know it, and that's why they despise me. I'm, of course, not any kind of bigot or racist or sexist or anything like this. I'm, in fact, a hardcore egalitarian, and that's the problem. A hardcore egalitarian will also say, well, you can't, it's not acceptable to go around being racist towards white people or sexist towards men, or prejudice against straight people and whatnot. But that's the thing, that's their entire platform. The idea of people who are... Fucking those birds, man, Jesus. The idea that people who are part of a majority group should be, in some way, fundamentally ashamed of being in that majority group, I don't agree with. So anyway, a few weeks back, a YouTuber called out another on his use of the N-word, and she was the one chastised and even lost a significant amount of subscribers, all while he skyrocketed from it. I don't know who that is, but yeah, if someone says nigger, tough shit, that's not your problem. You can say I dislike it, and if people say I don't care if you dislike it, tough shit. That's life, isn't it? That's how people give a shit about this. The weirdest one in recent memory is JonTron going full-blown fascist. Not even spelled right. JonTron is not a fascist. He's pretty red-pilled, but he's not a fascist. In his video today, we had a thanks guys and our guy jokes in the video. I haven't actually seen his Q&A video yet, but it's quite funny. But yeah, they're jokes. That's the thing, you have to understand they're jokes. When someone jokes about something, it's not a serious political position. It's scary because these people have huge influence on kids. Oh, well. Oh, and someone think of the children. And it seems that YouTube itself has turned right. Actually, I think it's turned sane. YouTube is... Okay, so yeah, these people view the culture war as a risk map. They're looking at, if they look at, say, Google, that's their territory. That's not our territory. But YouTube, like Google Hangouts, the Google technology thing that Sarkeesian and co went to, that's not our territory. But YouTube is our territory, and we do need to defend this with vigor. They won't get a hold on this, to be honest. But we have to be consistent. The mainstream media is their territory, whereas Breitbart could be considered to be, quote, our territory. Our being simply anyone opposed to social justice, because that is simply what their platform is. It's you either with social justice or you are against it, and anyone who's against it is in all of these, is slapped with a bunch of labels, and that's it. So I haven't looked through the rest of this thread yet, but I like this. I don't think there ever was a time where we had YouTube, to be honest. And I agree. I think social justice's incursions into YouTube were met roundly with rebuttals, denunciations, and mockery, which kind of chased them off. And I can see why. It's just not their area. If anything, it's a good thing we don't. I mean, jokes about the YouTube comment section being the lowest common denominator has essentially become the internet's what's the deal with airline food. See, I'm quite lucky. My comment section's usually reasonably interesting. These big YouTubers turning fascist is worrying. But I feel like they've always been like this, JonTron in particular, and they're simply doing what big YouTubers do best. Pandering. So they believe this thing, but if they express their belief in this thing, they're pandering. Can't win, can you? It's just the way it is. But there are a few genuinely progressive YouTubers of a decent size, namely people like the Game Grumps, PBJ, Pro Jared, and Brutal Moose. But they're just quiet for now, which is an issue. But it does take balls to directly attract the ire of Pewd's fanbase. Someone's like, I can't get mad at YouTube for not standing up because they have pretty much no protection from the law on YouTube when they get hit with harassment. You mean criticism? Criticism. Nothing gets done except a lot of pain and suffering. Hell, Jack Septiceye was a pretty big L player on about Markiplier's level, was getting shit for criticising PewDiePie, even though after saying PewDiePie is his friend and he doesn't think he's racist. Okay, that's fascinating. I think things have been trending ever downward since YouTube started sharing their ad revenue. And then it became less of a hobby or fun thing people did and started becoming serious business. YouTube is going to be very protective because they've built up their careers around it. It is right there in the name. They rarely call themselves video producers and instead they are YouTubers. It's a strong brand. Also, because it's basically a monopoly, there is nowhere else to go. If one guy gets in trouble, the rest have to worry about what could happen to them. Well, that's true. I mean, calling yourself a video producer is a lot less catchy than calling yourself a YouTuber. But yeah, it is a significant platform and there is a lack of competition for it. I mean, I would expand onto like multiple channels multiple platforms if there were other decent platforms around that could monetize. But unfortunately they can't. But remember, it's important to remember professional YouTubers are in constant fear of losing their platform. Well, anyone who has a job is in constant fear of losing their job, aren't they? You would think this would make them back away from fascists, not cozy up to them. Just one thing you've got to remember about Gamergazi and the SJWs in general is that they can't accurately represent anything. I mean, I don't think they'd be able to define a fascist if you wanted them to. I just don't think they're capable. It seems to me that Sargon and company are trying to force another GG. You can really see a familiar narrative forming from the musings of the people involved in this. That's because it looks so much like another Gamergate. That's it. It looks just like it. It's the same mode of operation. It's the same way you act. It's the same everything. But yeah, basically they're complaining that look at this. We have large YouTubers like Bill's Top Videos like PewDiePie Boogie, Phillips Franco H33, and CPG Grey jumping on the fuck mainstream media listen to Sargon train. This is fucking dangerous. Who's it dangerous for? It's dangerous for you. That's it. It's not dangerous for me. It's not dangerous to people listening to me who are actually listening to what I'm actually saying. And I mean, it's not like at no point are you refuting a damn thing I say. You never do, ever. You don't bother. And I know why you don't bother. It's because it would force you to come and have a talk with me. And if we came and had a talk, you would have to eventually say something like, well, yes, I mean, you can on an individual level be racist to white people or sexist to men. And then your entire ideology starts unraveling because there's no way that the rest of your crew can accept this. So I guess you can just go, oh no, Sargon is Satan, which I think I might be to these people. But that's fine. I'm happy to be their devil because I don't think I'm everyone's devil. And I know that what I'm doing is the right thing. So the YouTube Google needs to step up their platform and brand before it gets toxic to Twitter's level. Or what? Or what, you won't use it? No loss? I'm actually hoping the Wall Street Journal fights back to do more expose research. Look, he even said a joke about black people 6 years ago. Oh yeah, who cares? Hell, PewDiePie's fans are going after the Wall Street Journal journalist and J.K. Rowling with his newest video. Something has to be done before something really awful happens, yet someone might get mocked. There might be mockery of those terrible, terrible people you love so much. Oh no, fuck you, Felix. Oh no, not him too. Yeah, it's all going down. It's all going down. YouTube was always a dumpster fire. I've always hated YouTube. Nervously clutches Jim Sterling. I don't know who Noah Gervais is. All that. But Movie Bob. Yeah. Don't worry, guys. You have Jim Sterling and Movie Bob for life. And you can keep them. But yeah, welcome to the culture war. This is what these people think about. This is the frame that these people work within. You are either pro-social justice, in which you are their man, or you are anti-social justice, in which you are the enemy.